was coming here this morning and just reflecting on how intimidating it is to come and speak with my own prepared remarks in the School of Communications in DCU on a topic in which I am the least expert amongst all of you. So it is with some trepidation I step into the role. Good morning, and it is really a pleasure to be here today. And we discussed earlier, I think, the benefit of having deferred the launch from its original proposed date to today, but it's just brilliant to be here today and to see so many people here this morning. And thank you to David and to the organisers for putting today together. I think it's really important that we start to find ways to bring together groups from different backgrounds to share their perspectives and their insights on how we can tackle and take on this existential threat with which we are faced. We have an opportunity today to reflect on how we will change to avert the climate crisis. And before I move my own remarks, I should explain, and I will explain in a moment, why Deloitte are part of this endeavour. And I would also like to clarify why I think it is so important that you are here and that you are part of this endeavour and that you stay with us not just during today, but on this journey on which we are about to embark. At Deloitte, we are in the business of supporting organisations through change. For example, during the pandemic, we worked with businesses and helped them to adapt and to change, for example, through the adoption of new technology, or perhaps by merging with another business or by acquiring a business. These were organisations who knew that change was difficult and wanted help in changing themselves, and hence they asked us to provide them with that assistance. Sometimes the reason for change was strategic, sometimes it was obvious. In all cases, it was really hard. Change is incredibly difficult. Just ask a smoker, and if you'll bear with me for a moment. Smokers spend a considerable sum on something which, when it arrives, has a picture of the damage smoking has done to others. They know through information campaigns that it's bad for their health and can even result in death. The government taxes cigarettes to disincentivize people from smoking. And it's also, actually, as a former smoker, I can tell you, if you want to go for a quick puff, it's pretty hard to find somewhere where it's socially acceptable to do so. So if everybody knows that it's bad and it's expensive and difficult to access, why do people still smoke? Habit, status quo, perhaps it's addiction, defiance, or peer pressure. There are a range of reasons. And these reasons make smoking one of the biggest causes of preventable death in the US alone. Since 1965, the percentage of the US population that smokes has dropped from 42% to below 15%. That change has been supported by information campaigns, peer pressure, financial incentives, penalties, and the provision of alternative solutions. Despite all of that, only 2/3 of the smoking population has actually quit. So if change is so hard, when the case is so compelling, what makes us think that we can adapt to tackle the climate crisis? Over the past 100 years, Ireland has transformed itself from being an agrarian rock on the west coast of Europe to one of the most globally connected services-based economies in the world. Ireland's story from 1922 right through to 2022, from in the beginning, when we had a series of contested identities, no passports, no trade links, and that agrarian economy, right through to today, where we have the creation of this great little nation, a powerful economy in its own right, at the centre of global trade, the green dot in the global economy. In 1922, did the citizens of Ireland, the scholars, the thinkers, the entrepreneurs, did they visualise the Ireland that we have today? I wouldn't think so. But they knew we needed to change. And supported by a government policy that chose to build connections around the world, they helped to create the economy and the society that we have today. There were many challenges along the way, but despite this, as a nation, we have always found our own unique way through. If we look forward 100 years, what do we see? We can imagine rising sea levels, more extreme weather, less arable land, smaller populations. None of these reflect the country or the planet that we want to live on, or perhaps that we can survive in. Can we visualize the alternative? Perhaps we can, perhaps not. But that shouldn't stop us. This generation, us, you, playing your role in helping us to find our own unique way through. Most of our newspaper headlines today worry us about inflation, the reversal of globalization, political, social, or economic risk, and shocks. The invasion of Ukraine was a shock and is a humanitarian crisis. It's the realization of significant political, social, and economic risk. The headline we don't often see, the headline that we don't want to see, is the climate crisis. It's different. It's existential. It's big, and it's messy, and it's complicated, and it's hard to know even where to begin. There are no rules, and there's very limited available experience. It's a bit like trying to create a thriving globalized economy from an agrarian rock on the west coast of Europe. So why do I think it's important that all of you are here? At Deloitte, we understand how to manage change, and you have an important role in this country's most significant change programme, one that will shape the future of this country for generations. Your role will be to craft the stories that help to engage our society and encourage our businesses to envision the alternative future. Your ability with the pen and the word of mouth, and your influence is far greater than anything I or we at Deloitte could ever do. But use it to good effect. Smokers know that smoking kills and still smoke. Successful businesses survive over the long term because they fulfill a fundamental social or human need in a unique and compelling way. Create those businesses that will provide alternatives to the carbon-based economy that we have today. Support businesses' transition to become net zero. And educate in a way that can resonate with society. Use the tools, the stories, and the relationships in your armoury to influence and to change behaviour, be that in the classroom, amongst colleagues, families, or friends. It is your role as business leaders, communicators, and educators to empower people to take action. And I think please use today, it's a fantastic opportunity to reflect on for us all to reflect on our role in this change, to challenge ourselves during the day as to how we will help our society and economy to adapt and thrive. And after today, all of us should continue to ask ourselves, every month, every week, or every day, what is it that we have done that will help this country find its own unique way through? With that, thank you very much for your time and your attention this morning.